Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this, and next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes?
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes?
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling police?
What's going on, everybody? Today, I'm doing an emergency broadcast about the assassination attempt on President Trump. It seems like he's okay. He's reported that somebody died at the rally, so we're going to read that report. And then I'm going to look into every angle that I thought was accurate or interesting about it. And then we'll keep this one simple and short. So my break's over. Emergency broadcast. Thank you for being here. Thumbs up in the comments or for the algorithm. Appreciate you guys. Dream Rare Podcast. Emergency starts now.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? So just give me a thumbs up because I haven't done a show in a while. I just want to make sure my audio is good because I got a lot of clips to share. All right, let me just get right into it, and I'll do a video later next week about my break and stuff, but it's over, and here's a video I saw from somebody who claims he saw the shooter on the roof. Let's just get into that video real quick. Actually, first, let's read President Trump's statement. I forgot I had that. So this is President Trump. He put on True Social. He said, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I wanted to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at the time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America." So apparently somebody died at the rally, which is super sad, and somebody else was injured. I don't know who those are at the time, but God bless them. Let's get into a few clips, and I know there's going to be all sorts of people in the comments with all sorts of things. I'm going to try to cover every angle of this story, maybe read a few comments at the end. But let's get into this guy who claims he saw the shooter. He pointed it out to the police, and he says that they didn't seem to care, which is crazy for the president or the future president of the United States or the past president, whatever you want to call Trump, to point something out like that and them not care. That's bizarre. Here it is.
And watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, But we noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely.
I'm just going to do this for reference. I mean, take from this what you will. When President Trump was in Orange County, people told me that there were like snipers on the roof or Secret Service on the roof. So I'm not saying that this is purposeful or anything, but I do think that they obviously dropped the ball on this. If there's only a few barns in the area of this massive rally, and they didn't not only should they clear the roofs, but they should probably have people on the roofs. Like they allowed, according to this guy, some guy to climb up a roof with a gun, and nobody was on the roof or didn't seem to care. I don't know. I would think that they had higher security. In fact, I know in other situations they did have way deeper security than this, but I mean, I don't know. Let's keep looking.
We're pointing at them. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, "Hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle." And the police were like, "Huh, what?" Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, "Hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling." And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this.
I mean, I'm not a law enforcement expert, but that seems bizarre that someone would be doing that and they wouldn't care. Like, that's what this guy claims. Obviously, he's an eyewitness. This is his story. I don't know what's true, but just seems very weird. Let's keep watching.
And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling
Yep.
police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
Binoculars.
him? Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
I mean, he makes a valid point. Let's watch the last clip real quick.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's crazy. Definitely a crazy eyewitness story. Here's a few things I'm going to go through, then I'm going to give my opinion on it. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt. I'm intaking this information just like you are, so I'm not trying to make any grandiose statements, but I do have a few things that I want to look at. Luke from We Are Change said this is one of the craziest photos ever. I mean, I would assume this is true. I mean, as things are coming so quickly, obviously some things could be fake for sure, but it seems like most people are claiming that this is a picture of the shot going by and it hit Trump's ear and he turned his head. So it appears that, according to all this stuff, if Trump didn't turn to look to the right at that moment, that he would have probably been shot. Like, him turning his head probably impacted where it hit, which is just like crazy to see that. A few things I wanted to see real quick. This is like something Elon Musk posted. I thought it was like a little weird, but I just thought it was noteworthy. He posted some guy and retweeted it. His name is Max Meyer. He said, "I often say that photos of Trump are like Renaissance paintings, but on this awful evening for our country, the photo feels more biblical. The sunlight found Trump's bloodied face as he fell to the ground and produced this photo, Trump 2024. The reason, I mean, I'm not trying to get into crazy stuff now. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but, I am a curious person as well. Like, I think it's weird that Elon's like, this looks biblical. Like, he's sharing biblical things, but he's not even Christian. And his, profile picture for a while on Twitter was like him in a Baphomet suit. So it's like pictures of Trump are biblical to Elon, but the Bible's not biblical. I don't know. I just think it's like, the narrative is just growing so extreme. Obviously, it's a crazy situation. Like, it's newsworthy. There's thousands of people watching this live stream now. I'm not downplaying the event. I'm not trying to come up with some sort of theory. I'm trying to be respectful, pray for Trump. I'm glad he's okay. It's sad that somebody got killed, but that's just something I noticed that I wanted to share. Here's 2 things that I noticed as well. Was I understand the media is trying to be cautious. Well, like, they give a shit about other topics, but anyway, it's like, they're trying to slow into the story before they know what really happened. But this is how they reported it. I mean, they went so slow, they were basically walking backwards. CNN titled it, "Trump injured in incident at a rally." Like, could you possibly downplay an assassination attempt more than just saying it's an incident? Like, what type of incident? Like, that's so broad. NBC News said Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after popping noises heard at his Pennsylvania rally. Like, they're downplaying at first. Maybe now they're going to report it, but it's just, we know who mainstream media is. We know who CNN and MSNBC are. Like, they suck. They're terrible. But isn't that just crazy that they're like, it's a popping noise? Like, okay, like a firework's a popping noise too, but so is a rifle shot, if that's what it was. Like, the downplaying from the headlines is just like bizarre to see. And here's just one thing I want to show you real quick. And I'm not trying to be a dick or rude. And I know this is like a sensitive time, but this is when I saw that picture of Trump with the blood by his eye and he's like yelling. I've seen it before. I've literally seen almost that exact image before. And I was trying to think of where it was from. And it's from this card deck. I'm going to show you the cards, but let me just explain it real quick. I'm not saying it's fake. I'm not saying it's staged. I'm just saying, like, this is, whether you believe this or that, like, this is crazy that this card exists. It's from a Illuminati card game. It's called the Illuminati game, by Steven Jackson Games. He created this card game that was like underground. It wasn't like in mainstream stores, I don't think. But he created it off of books from Robert Anton Wilson about conspiracy theories and about politics. So it was a card game like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh, but it was all like Democrats, Hillary Clinton, like Republicans, like false flags. Like it was a conspiracy theory game created in the 1990s, but then there were expansion sets in the 2000s. But look at this card, and it looks nearly identical to the Trump picture. And keep in mind, this card is from the 1990s. I know this. My friend owns the deck. Like they're expensive now to buy because people are buying them for like nostalgic / collector reasons. But look at this card and look at what it says. Look at the face and the image on it. And then look at the image of Trump. I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying like I was like, what the hell? This is the craziest angle of this whole thing to me. But anyway. So here's the card. It says enough is enough. Look at that picture on it. That's not even supposed to be Trump. That's a card deck that was made in the 1990s or 2000s. It says at any time, at any place, our snipers can drop you. Have a nice day. Play this card on your own turn before drawing any plots. You may remove all zap, paralysis, or attribute freeze cards that are affecting your power structure. However, preoccupied with your house cleaning, you may draw no plots this turn. And that's how you play the Illuminati game. It's like I said, it's like Magic the Gathering. They have rules. They have little like things involved. But look at that image. It's crazy, right? And look at where the line is like on his face. Like it's literally nearly identical to where Trump got hit. I'm going to show you the side-by-side real quick of Trump and this card. And if you don't believe me about this card deck, look up the Illuminati card deck. Like you can literally look it up. It's crazy. I'm not saying it's fake. I'm not saying it was like manifested through the cards. I'm just saying like that is real. I don't know what to talk about it, but when I saw that happening and like the image, everybody on my Instagram was sharing it. It was like this image of Trump with like a scar there from the blood. I'm like, that looks nearly identical to that card that I've known about for like a decade now. So let me know what you guys think. Obviously, knowing my audience, I'm sure there's going to be a majority of people who are just horrified that somebody tried to kill Trump. I'm guessing that a lot of people are thinking like, Biden can't beat him. I didn't even watch the debate. Sorry, guys. I've been on a little bit of a break. I was traveling at the time, trying to just like decompress from politics. But in general, I saw clips of Joe Biden and it was like, holy crap, this is bad. Like, obviously he's going to lose the election at this point. The whole illusion that he's okay or whatever they've been trying to, it's hard for me to know what, like, I'm not trying to act like I'm so not normal, but like what normies are thinking and what normal people, like I'm so far beyond what the media is lying to people about. So like, were there people after the debate that were like, oh, wow, that's not what I thought it was. It's like, how did you not know this stuff? Like this, how, like people, but long story short, their illusion of what they were saying was going on and what was going on kind of failed. And you could see the election betting odds. I try to look at websites just to see where trends are going. And Trump has been a huge favorite. Like, it seems like there's no way that Trump's going to lose to Joe Biden. And then apparently he gets shot at a rally. So I would assume that most people are thinking like, they're trying to kill President Trump. Obviously, people have thought this for years. Like Ronald Reagan was shot. Abe Lincoln was shot. The Shinzo guy from Japan was recently killed in Japan. Like, assassinations on presidents happen. It's horrific. It's insane. And with Trump, obviously, he's such a outlier in politics that people have been speculating that his life is under threat in many ways, just not just court cases, etc. So it's horrific. I mean, it's already a crazy economy. This country is very, people are feeling the stress of just what America is now. And then you add on top an assassination attempt of President Trump. It's crazy. With that being said, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm sure most people are horrified. I'm sure some people don't believe it. I'm sure there's some people that think like it's not real or it's staged. I don't think that's a huge amount of people, but I've even seen on Twitter people saying that. Most people obviously are coming to Trump's defense. Other people are like just waiting to hear more information. Me, I mean, it looks real to me. I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying, I'm analyzing what's out there and what people are saying. And with anything, this is the most accurate take that I could kind of give you, and just stuff that I could show you as of now. Over the course of the next couple of days, more information is going to come through, more I would say Trump is the one that people really want to hear from. Like, he experienced it. Other people at the rally, people that were standing there. I was reading the comments on some of my posts on Facebook, and some skeptics were saying, like, why weren't people like running in the audience if it was a shot? I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not going to make theories. Like, maybe it was like there's a silencer making the gun more quiet, so people didn't necessarily hear it or know. Like, maybe people have slow reaction time. I don't really know, but I'm trying to like read all the comments and intake what everyone else is thinking. Me personally, I'm like, let me be as patient as I possibly can before I make any rash statements. See, even in the comments, there's like people saying a little bit of everything. But I want to hear from eyewitnesses, people standing behind Trump at the rally. Like, these are the people that I'm going to try to listen to over the next couple of days to see what they're talking about. Someone said no metal detectors is bad. Tori said F, fake AF. Someone said the one guy didn't even flinch. Like, anything nowadays, people are going to be skeptical of. And I'll just say this too. Like, I think it was real. I obviously think like there's people that hate President Trump, but here's my questions, because I'm never just going to be like, oh, here's the normal narrative. My questions are, this didn't look like a huge area. Like, they weren't somewhere where there was like 10,000 buildings. There were like a couple buildings near there. So why didn't they clear out the roof? And, why did they allow this to happen? It's a poor job done by Secret Service, obviously. With that being said, also, yeah, I don't know. It's just unfortunate and ridiculous. And I guess you could say it's fortunate that he is fine, because it could have obviously been a lot worse. So I guess it could have been way worse. So I don't know if I would use unfortunate, but I don't know. My first thought when I saw all this stuff was like, what the heck? But someone said female Secret Service. Yeah, I don't know if that's the case or not, but I understand why people are skeptical, because we've been lied to about so much. So it's hard to like just jump right in a narrative. And I've seen that for a lot of things, because anytime everyone's like, oh, this is what it is, it's like I'm always very cautious, very thoughtful about it, but I'm not going to make any crazy claims right now, personally. Someone said liberals are celebrating. Yeah, I mean, liberals and conservatives live in two different realities. I'm sure I saw some posts where people were saying now liberals are into false flags and conspiracy theories. Like, liberals think that I'm not going to say all liberals, but a lot of liberals think that like criticism of big pharma is a conspiracy theory. And like, if you don't wear a mask for 5 years when like Dr. Fauci tells you to, like, you're a conspiracy theorist. Like, they think everything's a conspiracy theory. But now when it goes the other way, I'm sure that they'll be a lot more into questioning things. But that's why I think self-accountability is the most important thing when it comes to politics, because when you're so into a narrative that it's kind of easy to trick people, like they don't really have solid concrete beliefs. They're just kind of following a movie where they've decided that Trump is the villain. But someone said people are obviously dead, dude. This isn't staged. I didn't say it was staged. I'm just reading the comments. I'm not saying it is. I don't think it is. I'm just analyzing the situation. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, everyone believes it. Like, some people literally don't. I don't know. I read social media comments. Most people believe it. Some people don't. That's all I said. Don't take this out of context. Don't say that I said it was fake or staged. I'm just read the comments. Like, you don't convince me. You don't need to convince me. I think it's real, but not everyone does. And I'm just trying to go through the reasons that I think people don't believe stuff. That's why it's important to be trustworthy and honest, because once you lose people's trust, whether you're a politician, whether you're a news source, whether you're anything, somebody who disseminates information, once you lose people's trust, like, they don't trust easily. And I think everybody in this country has trust issues. Vicky said y'all need to touch grass. Here's what I want to say, though. I think it's real. Okay. Personally, I think it's real. I'm not saying it's staged, but you can't just like shame people for having questions, because like these things happen. Like, real assassination attempts happen. Real false flags happen. I'm not like, this isn't a false flag, I don't think. I'm just saying, like, I'm not in the business of like just shaming everybody for thinking everything. Like, how could you not believe the thing that I believe that just happened an hour ago? It's like, I don't know. Let's relax for 10 minutes a day and intake information and then talk. But it's up to you. Someone said putting you on YouTube. I'm already on YouTube. I don't know if you meant you're putting it on, but Let me read. Cynthia said, of course it's real. Someone said Trump literally has a hole in the upper part of his right ear. A bystander was shot in the head. Yeah, I know someone's dead at the rally. I get you guys are trying to convince people in the comments. I don't know. You could read the comments for yourself. Someone said you look good today. Well, I shaved. I wasn't even trying to go live. I was trying to shave and just let my hair grow back naturally for a week, but that wasn't the case. I felt inclined to do my job today. You know, if President Trump could be at a rally like that, then I could do my job. But I'll do a video next week and kind of explain it. It's not like I'm not like I'm not like quitting or crying. I'm just like falling back. And there's a lot of things that I'm always doing, like a million things at once. I was getting too stressed out. My like resting heart rate was too high, and like it's back to normal. I feel healthy. I'm doing more cardio and stuff. I'm fine. It's just I realized that I need to just do one thing at a time. So there's like 20 things that I've been putting off because I've just been doing videos every day. I'm just chilling on the videos because then I feel like when I do a video, it'll be more meaningful. I'll be more passionate about it. I won't feel like rushed or stressed out. And I think I was just getting too stressed for too long. So I'm fine. I feel great. I'm happy. I'm just like, I don't know. I was going to not do a video today, but it's like, shit, if Trump's going to get shot at, I might as well go live. What do you guys think about that? I just want to show you real quick. And once again, I'm not saying it was fake. I don't think it was fake. I think it was real. What do you think about this card? Like, I understand that there's crazy things. Like people always talk about The Simpsons. Hold on one second. I just got to let it come back. People always talk about The Simpsons, like how they predict so many things. Sometimes you're able to predict things by just being honest. And when you're honest, the truth ages well. So like, oh, George Carlin predicted this 50 years ago. Yeah, he was just being more honest than a lot of politicians. I'm not saying he wasn't impressive, but you get what I'm saying? It's like, how was Trump 10 years ahead of like border security, or how was someone 40 years ago so ahead of border security? Because they were speaking the truth early and nobody wanted to listen until the problem got so big that everyone understood it. Like, to me, that's how you get ahead of a lot of this stuff. But what do you think about this card deck that was created in the 1990s or 2000s? I'm going to put this up and let me know in the comments what you think of this. It's just so crazy. And I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying like the fact that even the blood is almost in the same spot. Like it's just like that. Everybody for years has been like, yo, that's Trump. Like it looks just like Trump. Obviously, if you saw that and I said, who is this? You'd be like Trump. You would have said Trump 3 years ago. But now it's like that literally almost looks like a edited Photoshop version of the actual, like the thing today, the picture. Once again, I'm not saying there's a lot of things that this Illuminati card deck predicted. Like they talked about like pandemics. They had like pictures of the Pentagon. Like it obviously, like, you know, it's just a crazy card deck. I actually want to buy one. They're pretty expensive now because you can only get them on like eBay and stuff because they're like not being made. You can only buy them from people who own them. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's so similar. It's kind of like a Simpsons moment where you're like, what? I'm not saying like the Simpsons are writing the script for politicians, but they do get things right early, you know, where it's worth like looking at and talking about. But someone said the card is crazy. It not only looks like him, it has like a line right where he got shot. It's like insane. I'll talk the Peterson stuff. I've seen it on Twitter. I'll talk about it like in a different live stream. I'm not going to just like let this one go so long. This one's going to be under 30 minutes. So if you got anything important to say or interesting to say or meaningful, let me know now, because I'm not going to let this go over 30 minutes. Someone said the card looks crazy. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, it's hard to bring this stuff up because then people are like, oh, what are you saying? Like, I don't know. Like, what do you think? I've known about that card for 10 years now. Like my friend owns the deck. He bought it. We've been talking about these cards for years because there's other cards that match up to reality like crazy. I think they had like a pandemic one that like, and obviously pandemics have existed. This is how they're able to predict things because, you know, a lot of things are cyclical. Even there's this clip from, I want to say Mike Wallace, his name was, for 60 Minutes. I don't remember what news network it was on, but if you watch there, and if you could find it, you should watch this if you've never seen it. I think it's like 1983 or 1973. I don't know. But it's Mike Wallace swine flu pandemic, like vaccine scandal. There was a swine flu pandemic that I never even knew about it in the 80s or 90s or 70s or whenever. And they rolled out a swine flu vaccine. and Mike Wallace was going through swine flu vaccine injuries. There was this lady who was paralyzed. They had this whole breakdown how the CDC lied or whatever. And like literally, it was so eerily similar to things that we went through. You would think that if I showed you that, you'd be like, oh, you predicted the future. But it's like, no, the same things just keep happening. It's just nobody pays attention. So when history repeats itself, everyone acts like things are brand new. They're like, whoa, I can't believe that happened. It's probably happened 3 times in American history. It's just you don't learn about it in history class. They barely talk about it on the news. And there's a concerted effort to get you to not talk about it, or there's a concerted effort to get you to like, think about something else or look at politics in a different frame, like left versus right, red versus blue, Trump's this, Trump's that. Like they got people all scrambled up to the point where clearly people hate Trump enough to do what they tried to do today, which is insane. And it's like the amount of psychological abuse that the media has done to people. Like, I don't care if you're left wing or right wing, but what the media has done is like destroyed people's brains. So you got probably like millions of people that think that like Trump's this or Trump's that, and like just like freaking out because they've been watching too much like Rachel Maddow or something. And it's just really sad. Like, I think the media should be held to high standards. I don't know legally what should be done about it, but I'll just say for myself, I got into the media because I was like, they lie all the time, and they're just like making people crazy. Like, and the more people they make crazy, the more annoying the world gets for everybody. It's like it's bad when everybody's on edge and everybody's like nuts, and the country starts declining in the wrong direction. So I was like, I could do a better job of this. That's the whole reason why I did the news. So these are the clips that I thought were interesting. This is like my take on it. Let me know what you think. Someone said mainstream media hates him. Yeah, and even, I got a lot to say about what's going on because I've taken a few weeks off, but like the whole Biden thing and him declining, like this is all like a really crazy, fascinating time, but it's like, they're not going to beat Trump. Like that's what makes this even more interesting is like Biden screwed up. Like they're not going to beat Trump. So then he gets shot, like you can't beat him at the ballot box. So I'm sure that's what a lot of people are thinking. I would assume that this is just going to increase his chances even more now. Like, like people are going to be like, all right, I guess I got to vote for this guy. They're shooting at him. But someone said, we're counting on you, Anomaly, to fix this. Well, it's the wrong strategy. I'm one man. I can't fix a whole political system. If Trump can't even do a rally without getting shot, I can't fix the system. Like his Secret Service can't even clear the roofs apparently of like buildings next door. And I'm not being sarcastic or funny. I'm just like to actually think that I could fix this. Like it's a bigger problem than that. Someone said he's supposed to go to the UFC, and if so, they're going to lose it. Oh yeah, they're going to go nuts. They love Trump at the UFC. When Trump's on the TV normally, like without a day like this, he gets the biggest applause, bigger than the biggest fighters, the biggest celebrities. Trump is the most loved person at UFC events. I've been there in person. I've been at bars. Trump is more loved than anybody. If he goes there today, it's in Denver. It's on my television right now. I'm not watching it because I'm doing my job, but yeah, they're gonna go insane. They're gonna go absolutely insane. Yeah, I don't. As far as the people that are skeptical and stuff, it's like I wanted to come live. I showed you the clips of the Eyewitness. I showed you a few things that I thought were interesting. Patience is a virtue. Like for me, being patient it's not like the play for a news analyst. Say, hey, wait 4 days and let everyone get the views. It's like, yeah, that doesn't work for the business model of most of the people you follow. So they're just going to post. But if you really want to know things, you got to like wait for more information to come in. So I'm not trying to jump the gun on any sort of narrative or anything. This is what I saw that was like newsworthy and interesting, but over the next 5 days, I want to look at every angle of this, like why, what, like, and start comparing everything, and then I'll make an opinion. But I'm going to end on this note and keep this video pretty short. This is something I've been thinking about too, because there's a lot of reasons for my break. Most of it was just health and like doing other business that I've been putting off, so then I could like have my model properly to push forward. But in general, it was mostly like health reasons, but it was a blessing in disguise because I was doing too much at once, just trying to do like 50,000 things. Not healthy, but anyway, I'm fine. With that being said, I've also been thinking about like why, and this might be a little deep and profound to some or whatever, but it's like why, like when you scroll through Instagram, Why? Like, what are you getting out of it? Like, I'm an influencer. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I make money on the internet, right? There's other whys. Like, that's not the first reason I did it. But like, if you're just scrolling, like, it's like I'm posting on Twitter, like, why? This is my opinion. And I know this is going to sound weird and trippy, but it's like, how many times am I going to say the same thing to the public and then they're going to comment under it? Social media is just weird to me. Like, this live stream's a little bit like, okay, I do a presentation. I like YouTube, but it's like on Twitter, like, why am I posting on Twitter? Yeah, I make some money on it or whatever, but like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I don't want to be a slave to like the algorithm just so I can make a few bucks off of it. Cause it's like, here's what I think. And it's like, here's what I think here. And then it turns into this whole, like, everyone's yelling. And it's like, I barely posted on Twitter in the last couple of weeks because it's like I feel so much healthier, like not engaging in thousands of text arguments all the time every day, because I could feel the energy of like getting in arguments online, and I'm just over it. It's like it's just so much. It's just so much, like so much energy and like time and it's like there's certain things I like about social media. I'm obviously grateful and I'm appreciative, and I do like listening to streams like this of other people, etc. But I don't know. It's been a real reflective process for me because I want to be great at what I want to do. I want to be accurate. I want to have a good influence on you and myself. But it's like I've been really asking the question why, and not in a bad way or in like a negative way, just in a way where it's just making me like inspired again to really think about like making meaningful stuff, making meaningful stuff that I like, that helps people, that's not just like another cog in the machine, like yapping away. So it's like today's an obvious, like, okay, there's a huge purpose of making this video. Like it's a monumental moment in American history. I'm going to wrap it up on this note. I'm going to say a few things. Let's just see the information that comes out. The fact that it hit Trump's ear and he turned is crazy. Elon's calling it biblical. Fascinating. It looks just like a card that was made in the 90s or 2000s. Crazy. Trump's going to beat Joe Biden. Like, Biden's really screwing up to the point where, like, to me, I've never known who was going to win the election, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on that. But once I saw the clips of Joe Biden at the debate, I was like, yeah, Trump's going to win for sure. Like that's bad. Like, Biden just screwed up, for lack of a better term. I almost said the F word, but I'm trying to keep it clean. And then this happens, as the Democrats are melting apart, their narrative's failing, they're losing celebrities, they're not cool anymore, nobody gives a shit. Now that this is what happens. And then he's got the image that's going viral now. It's just like a crazy time. I mean, regardless of what you think, Trump is like the main character, like everybody thinks they're the main character, and you are the main character in your own life. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't be like a pushover, like a NPC. You should be like a main character. But like if Earth, like, and like television was a show, you know what I'm saying? Like celebrity culture and stuff. Oh, look at Taylor Swift. Like Trump's kind of like the main character of the main characters, like the whole world like revolves around him. It's like the dude turns his head, gets hit in the ear, like he's on the ground, he's up with his hand. Like he's got like main character vibes for sure. Just like, it's an epic story, regardless of how you see it. Most people here see him as the hero. A lot of people see him as the villain in the world. Some people here just see him as an actor or puppet or whatever. There's all sorts of opinions about him. But either way, the story of Donald Trump is like fascinating. Pray for him. Pray for the family of someone that got killed at a rally. I mean, that's devastating. Like, imagine just going to cheer Trump on. That's crazy. It's definitely an escalation of escalations. And, I don't want to sound selfish because this is not what I'm trying to say, but like when Trump becomes the president, like, is this the shit that everyone's going to have to deal with all the time? Like, are people just going to go ape shit again for 4 years? Cause it's so annoying. It's like, guys, just, make a contribution to humanity and just keep it moving. Like, be a good person and do your best and work towards something that helps the country. Like, do we have to deal with just people acting like psycho again? Because that was so annoying from 2016 to 2020. Like, like everybody deals with so much in life. Like, now we got to deal with your shit too. People crying and freaking spray painting like the Stonehenge and like the Mona Lisa, throwing a fit in the street. It's just like, I don't know. It's just too much. So that's what I'm wondering. Like, if/when Trump wins, are people going to go ape shit again? Like, it's too much. Like, we got to make America great again and fix the economy and stop ruining America societally and culturally. Like, we don't need people just throwing crazy fits, acting freaking nuts all the time. Like, it's too, nobody wants to deal with this shit. I'll say this too before I leave. I talked to younger people. This was like a couple years ago, like people in their 20s. Like, I just wanted to get like a pulse on like what they were thinking. Like, they weren't really conservative or Republican, but they weren't really liberal. And the vibe that I was hearing was like, this is before the debates and stuff. I'm sure things always change, but they were like exhausted from the Trump era. And it's not even like they hated Trump that much. It was just like the energy that was brought. They're just like, I don't want to relive that. Like 2016 to 2020 was like exhausting for me. But now with the economy so shitty, so many people are like, all right, Biden's exhausting me. Like, let me go back to Trump. Like, that seems a little better because then I had more money and stuff. So I'll say this as well. This is when I talk about politics and elections, obviously, like, I'm not just going to like wake up one day and vote for Joe Biden. I'm not an idiot, but in general, like, people always ask me what I think, and I appreciate it, but it's like, yeah, I've told my opinions. I have thousands of videos online. It's not that hard to figure out what I think, but also like things happen very quickly. So like, what I think now is not necessarily going to be the same as in a couple months. It's not like I'm going to drastically change who I am, but as far as like reading the pulse of what's going on or who's going to win the election, it's like, if Joe Biden screws up an election, Donald Trump gets shot in the ear, like now the polls have probably swung to Trump like 15%. Like, that's not something you could have predicted 4 weeks ago, unless you're like a genius or something and you have an insight to the future. So, that's how I see this election season as everybody else. Like, it's going to get crazy. Like, hopefully nothing worse than this. But unfortunately in this world, it's like America's in a two-front war. There's a lot on the line, even though I do personally believe that the donors do kind of control both parties for the most part, but still, that's not enough. Like, some people, they have 90%, 80% control, but they want 100% control. Some people have no control and they just lose control because they're just fucking nuts, like there's all sorts of people out there. So it's really hard to put a pulse on it. Doc with the super chat before I leave said, the only thing Democrats have less are various levels of temper tantrum. Well, to me, the Democrats, like, their narrative, it's not going to work very long. And here's the thing, like, even with right-wing culture that I study for a living, essentially, not purposely, like, it's my only thing, but I see it because I'm in it. Like, things are changing so quickly. Like, what was taboo 2 years ago, nobody cares anymore. Like, you can call someone racist or whatever, and then like people just stop caring because it gets old, and it's just like, like people get harder skin. So, the Democrats, they lie too much. Like, Republicans lie too, and they're sneaky, but Democrats definitely lie more, and they have like no substance. So, how, like, you're running off of what? Like, Joe Biden, LGBTQ+++, he's 81 years old. Like, everything they do is a lie. So it's not going to work. So, as terrible and fake as most Republicans are, and they're sold out as well, and they're, in my opinion, fake opposition, Democrats are way more screwed, at least for this election season, because they're running off of like nothing. So I wouldn't be shocked if they do throw temper tantrums, like, because that's all they really have. They're everything they do is like double speak and like little sayings like, oh, look at project. I was out for a couple weeks, like just trying to focus on other stuff, and it's like project 2028 or something. It's like, and then I see like liberals posting it. They're like, oh, project 2028. I can't believe it's like, you didn't even know what that was a week ago. Now you're outraged by some paper that Republicans wrote, like that Trump says he doesn't even know what it is, but he probably does. Like, it's just politics is so dumb. It's like the left just finds a narrative and like a brand, it's like January 6th is the worst thing in the world. It's like, okay. And then what's the Trump assassination? An incident? You know what I'm saying? They label it an incident. And then it's like Project 2022, because it's like a brand. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tamagotchi, and you're like 2020 project. It's like, dude, like, learn something. Like, who cares? Like, wow, they wrote the Project 2028. Okay, what did Democrats write? Like, does that make the other side good? Like, people are so dumb. They just put things up there and they're like, get mad at this for 3 weeks. It's like just so dumb. The less you think about it and look at it, the less you want to, because it's just like dummy town. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'll make a video later this week talking about other stuff and just explaining like my break, because I don't want to get it twisted. But I got a good reaction for the most part from people. Like, I saw a lot of people, it really hit home influencers and comedians I saw talking about it. Sorry, I always say influencers because I think it's like the douchiest word ever. So I'm trying to like think of other words, but you know, and then people that aren't influencers that like, I've just seen a lot of good feedback where people were like, you know, you weren't just talking about yourself and your break. You were kind of just talking about social media and what we're all going through. So I think a lot of people are thinking it, but nobody's really saying it because we're all just like, you know, just trying to live and keep it moving. But like when you stop sometimes and look around, it's like, what are we really doing here? You know, like I'm grateful, I'm appreciative. I never want to squander the opportunities I was given. But at the same time, it's like, am I just running in circles on a social platform, commenting like, what am I doing? I could do better, you know? So we'll talk about it later. Appreciate you guys. God bless President Trump. You know, like the dude getting shot in the ear, like you know, now I got to go vote for him. Like I was going to just maybe work out and get jacked on election day. But, you know, it's like try to take the man's ear off. I think I got to go put his name down on a big piece of paper. And then people will say, see, that's what happens. It's like, you know, Joe Biden is an empty suit. He's an empty carcass being puppeted. You know, at least Trump is funny. And, you know, I'll say this too on the right. I've expressed my disappointment, etc., with the conservatives, but I do think that people are smarter than they were a couple of years ago. Like not everybody, but some people. I think the culture is like way more. I don't want to say based. That's like a weird word, but like it's way the culture is way less politically correct. It's evolving, and people are going to speak out if things don't go the way they want them to go against the donor class. I think so. It's like, you know, just get Biden out of the way. It's old news. They're too weird. You know, let Trump have his time, and then communicate with him and talk shit to him if you want to, or express your disappointment with what he's doing if he sells out the country again. But you know, it's just time to get Biden out of the way. Like he had his time. It's time for him to retire with Bernie Sanders on a yacht somewhere. Even though Bernie Sanders is running again, he's going to be like 1,000 by the time he's gone. But you know, it just is what it is. But appreciate you guys. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Yeah, I'm interested to hear for the first time in a long time. To be honest, I like have been tuning out Trump because he just says the same things on loop. But now that he got shot in the ear, I kind of want to hear what he has to say. Like it's going to be an interesting first press conference whenever he does it. Maybe he'll show up at UFC, which I watch almost every week because it's my downtime. Okay. You know, everybody has something to take their mind off stuff. I just watch people punch themselves in the face in a cage. All right. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I just want to repeat this again. I don't have to, but I'm going to. I did not say it was staged. I'm just going through what everyone's thinking. Like there's people that think it was. There's people that obviously think it wasn't. There's people that think this and that card that I showed is odd. I'm not like, I know there's going to be people in the comments that are like, you said that. I'm like, I'm just reading the room. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like a normie MSNBC host where I'm like, la, 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 la. Like I could say whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? I could read comments I don't agree with. Like I could read comments I agree with. I don't have any, like it's so new now that I don't, you know, like I wasn't there. If I was there, then I could tell you exactly what happened. Like, don't listen to me. I mean, appreciate you for listening to me, but like, you really want to know what happened? Talk to somebody that you trust that was at the rally, you know, like not just some random person, but if you know someone there, some people probably do, ask them what happened. You know, now you can get an opinion of somebody who was actually on the ground versus somebody that's just watching videos on social media like myself and people in the comments that you don't even know who they are. So it's my advice, unsolicited. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. God bless you. And let's not do that because, you know, as in my opinion, you know, Trump can be a little sneaky and sold out, but it would be really creepy, obviously, if they took him out. And like that would be, I mean, it goes without saying. I don't even have to say this, but like, it's not what you want. I don't even want him to lose at the ballot box. Joe Biden sucks, but I'm just saying it's like, that's like some 1984 stuff where it's like, now we won, you know, and it's like, holy shit, these people are even crazier than we already thought they were. So it's like, let the election play out, stop with the bullshit cases and all this shit. Like, let the guy win and then, you know, regroup and run again in 2028. Like, that's what it is. Appreciate you. God bless. I'll be back soon. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Just a few ways to stay in touch and support if you'd like to. The first way is dreamrare.com. We have blue beanies, black beanies, pink hats, other colored hats, freedom versus tyranny shirts, Stay blessed long sleeve, God is great long sleeve, and lots of more cool items coming soon. DreamRare.com. Check out the shop to support. Everything's made in the United States. Handpicked by me. Patreon.com/RareTalk. For $5 a month, you can help support me, support the show. If you haven't noticed, unlike other channels, I don't work with very many sponsors, sometimes none at all. And part of the way I'm able to do that is with the DreamRare.com shop and Patreon.com/RareTalk. So thank you guys for keeping this show free, unimpeded,